Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are tackling something that I think defines modern life, and that's the battle for focus. If you're our listener, the learner, you know exactly what I mean. Do you ever find yourself just procrastinating on things you know are important?
Oh, absolutely.
You feel that invisible mental barrier, right? It stops you from starting, even when you know the reward will be great.
And that feeling is so common. We want to be clear, it's almost never just a lack of discipline.
Right.
What we're really seeing is a mismatch. Our brains are, basically Stone Age brains. They crave immediate feedback.
And our environment is anything but.
Exactly. Our 21st century world provides this constant, high-octane stimulation.
Yeah.
And that restlessness, that inability to get excited about long-term work, it comes directly from being overstimulated.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Our mission for this deep dive is to really analyze this idea of the dopamine detox. Is it a practical, evidence-based way to, reclaim your focus?
Yeah, and the goal here is critical. It's about resetting your baseline so those hard, necessary tasks actually start to feel appealing again.
Not like a chore.
Not like a chore. We've distilled a core guide designed to eliminate distractions and sort of retrain the brain. We're going to cover what dopamine actually is, how our attention is being hijacked, and then give you a simple 3-step method to actually do a detox and make it stick.
All right, let's start at the source. We hear the word dopamine everywhere. It's usually tied to pleasure, right?
Yeah.
But what is it, really? The material we're looking at says it's what makes us anticipate rewards.
That's the key word, anticipate.
So finding food, shelter, it's the force that makes us act, which for our ancestors was, a survival tool.
It's the driver of motivation.
Yeah.
Of craving. But here is the critical distinction we have to make, and it's a big one.
Okay.
Dopamine is not a pleasure chemical.
Wait, okay, that is counterintuitive.
It is. It's activated when you anticipate a potential reward.
Yeah.
The actual feeling of pleasure, of satisfaction, that involves other neurotransmitters entirely.
So if I get a rush from clicking on a notification, that's not me enjoying the message.
Precisely. In fact, if you watch yourself closely, the second you get that reward, the like, the email, what do you feel? Often, it's a little wave of emptiness.
Huh. Almost. Unfulfilling.
Right. The rush was in the chase. It was in the anticipation. The source material is very clear on this. Stimulation alone never, ever brings lasting fulfillment. The system is designed for more, not for completion.
Which is where this idea of the molecule of more comes in. If it's all about anticipation, how does that create addiction or tolerance?
It's a self-reinforcing loop. It's fascinating, really. The more your environment gives you these fast, easy dopamine hits, the more the system craves the next one.
So you need a stronger hit next time.
You need a stronger stimulus to get the same level of motivation. That's tolerance. And this loop isn't just for substances. Our sources list things like gambling, excessive shopping, video games.
Even work or exercise, if it's extreme.
Absolutely. Anything that gives you fast, variable, and accessible feedback can build up that same tolerance mechanism.
So if dopamine is the molecule of more, then modern society is just a perfectly designed delivery system.
It really is.
Our attention has become this scarce asset, and corporations are spending billions of dollars to hook us. Let's talk notifications. Social media, email, they trigger that dopamine because we anticipate the reward. But how do you balance that? If I turn off every single alert, am I going to miss something that's actually urgent?
And that's the core conflict, isn't it? The problem isn't the tech itself, it's the sophistication of the delivery. Companies are engineering continuous variability.
You mean randomness.
Exactly. You don't know when the next or the next important email will arrive, and that variable reinforcement is, it's highly addictive. It's weaponized anticipation.
And it's not just alerts. We're talking about sophisticated algorithms too, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Think about Amazon's recommendations or the YouTube rabbit hole or Facebook's feed. They remove the need for you to even choose. They just serve up the next thing.
It's a never-ending loop.
It is, and you get stuck. You feel restless because you're constantly primed for that next quick hit. The internet stops being a tool you use, and it starts, in a way, using you.
This hijack is also so powerful in the food industry. We're hardwired to crave sweet and fatty foods. That's a huge dopamine trigger.
A massive one. A biologist, Professor Suzanne Klaus, she noted that the combination of sugar and fat is especially effective for the brain's reward system.
It's an engineered hit.
The perfect engineered hit. It's why processed foods are so hard to stop eating. Now, we should be balanced here. There's a scientific debate.
Right.
You have people like Robert Lustig saying sugar is addictive like nicotine. Then you have others like Tom Sanders who say it's absurd to suggest that sugar is addictive like hard drugs.
So because the withdrawal isn't the same.
Right, it's not like opiates or cocaine.
Yeah.
But the practical takeaway for you, the listener, isn't about which side is right. It's just about recognizing that lowering your dependence on these high stimuli rewards, whether it's a candy bar or a click, is just fundamental to rebalancing your brain.
And when you connect all this,
Yeah.
this consumption, the big consequence is short-term thinking. This is the root of procrastination.
Yes.
When you're operating on this high stimulation wavelength, of course, regular tasks seem dull and unappealing. Writing a report requires this low, sustained frequency, and you just can't tune in if you're riding the high-frequency wave of instant feedback.
That wavelength mismatch is so critical to understand. When you look at what determines long-term success, a researcher named Dr. Edward Banfield concluded it was the ability to think several years into the future while making decisions in the present.
How can you do that when your brain is wired for feedback in seconds?
You can't. Chamath Palihapitiya said this fast feedback from apps gives us these totally inaccurate mental models. We start to believe that success should come quickly and easily.
Which is the opposite of reality. The best example of that disciplined long-term thinking has to be Amazon.
Perfect example.
Founded in '94, and they deliberately chose growth over profit. They waited until 2003 for their first profitable year.
An entire decade almost.
Bezos just kept reinvesting, building foundations, enduring losses. That patience is exactly what the dopamine loop fights against.
So given the scale of the battle, the dopamine detox becomes our strategic countermeasure.
Our way of fighting back.
Exactly. It's the tactical reduction of all this external stimulation to lower your brain's baseline level. And by doing that, those seemingly boring tasks, the important ones, start to feel more appealing. They get easier to tackle.
And we should clarify, the term detox isn't perfectly scientific.
Right. It's a convenient shorthand. You're not purging a chemical. You're just reducing your need for external stimuli to feel motivated.
So let's get practical. The sources lay out three main types, 3 levels of intensity. First up is the most demanding, the 48-hour complete detox. This is a full system reset.
It is. It means removing almost all external stimulation. No internet, no social media, no sugar or processed food, no movies, no video games.
What are you even allowed to do?
Very little. Relaxation music, gentle exercise like stretching. The cans have to be things that deepen your focus. Journaling, contemplative walking, where you just focus on your senses. It's meant to be a sharp contrast, kind of like a 10-day Vipassana retreat, but, much shorter.
Okay, so that's the extreme version.
It's tough, but it's meant to shock the system back into balance.
Then there's the 24-hour detox. Shorter, easier, but I'm guessing less effective.
Yeah, it takes a couple of days for your stimulation levels to really drop back to a natural baseline. And finally, you have the most sustainable option, the partial detox.
This one sounds more manageable.
It is. It's personalized. You just focus on removing your single biggest source of stimulation. Maybe it's YouTube suggestions for you, or compulsive email checking, or late-night gaming.
Find your biggest vice.
Find your biggest vice and cut it out. But no matter which path you choose, your brain will rebel. It will fight back with these little deceptions, what the source material calls 4 mind tricks.
Let's break these down, because this is where self-awareness is everything. What's the first trick?
Number 1 is returning to work is easy. Your mind tells you, I'll just check this one thing, then I'll get right back to it.
Which is a complete lie.
A complete lie. Once you trigger that dopamine loop, deep focus is probably gone for hours. It's like trying to stop a freight train on a dime.
I feel that with checking stocks. Just one look. Okay, number 2.
You can do it later. Simple procrastination. It tricks you into putting off the detox or the productive work until it just never happens.
Number 3.
Excitement is similar to fulfillment. This is a sneaky one. Your brain uses the temporary high of some breaking news or viral video to mask the fact that you're not getting any deep, long-term fulfillment. We confuse the buzz with actual meaning.
And the last one, number 4, is probably the most common, FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Exactly. It's a scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
It convinces you that if you unplug, you'll miss some critical opportunity or connection. And the algorithms are designed specifically to feed that fear.
Okay, that brings us to the actual practical framework, the 3-step method for a successful detox. Step 1, identify your distractions. This requires some brutal honesty. You make a clear list. Cans, the allowed low-stim things, and can'ts, the things you have to avoid. And you have to be ruthless and ask yourself, what is the one thing that if I stopped doing it would boost my focus the most?
Find that one main target.
Identify it, write it down, keep it visible.
Then comes step 2. Add friction. This is brilliant because it uses our own laziness against our bad habits.
Right, we're fundamentally lazy creatures.
So you redesign your environment to make the bad behaviors hard and the good behaviors easy. If your phone's the problem, put it on airplane mode in another room.
Right.
Use browser extensions like Newsfeed Eradicator to block distracting feeds.
Well, the best example from the source is the author who moved his internet modem to a storage room.
I love that one.
He had to leave his apartment, take an elevator, unlock 4 different doors just to get online. He created this massive activation barrier.
And that's the goal. Make your worst habit a huge pain to access.
Which leads to step 3, start first thing in the morning. This is about prevention, not cure.
This might be the most important step of all.
You have to protect your focus before that first dopamine hit. If the first thing you do when you wake up is check email or social media, you've already lost.
You've jumped on the high stimulation train for the day, and you'll spend the rest of it just chasing that feeling.
So the morning routine has to be about deepening focus, not seeking stimulation. Start with low wavelength things. 5 minutes of meditation, deep stretching, calming music, or just writing down your top goals for the day in a physical notebook.
Start the day with calm intention, not reactive craving. So we've done the detox, but it's useless if you just relapse a week later. To make this stick, we have to change how we think about productivity. It's consistent focus on your most impactful tasks.
Which means managing your environment.
Constantly. This brings us to a really useful concept. Open versus closed systems.
Okay.
Open systems are apps or websites that have a never-ending supply of new stuff. Your email inbox, social media feeds, the entire internet. They have no end point.
So they risk infinite overstimulation.
Precisely. A closed system, on the other hand, has a defined boundary. It offers little to no room for distraction.
Like a Word document.
Oh.
Or a spreadsheet. Or just a plain notebook.
Exactly. And the rule is simple. You must always start your day, especially after a detox, with a closed system. When you feel that urge to check the news, you first open your notebook, write down the one task you do, and commit to just 5 minutes on it.
And for relapse prevention, you have to accept that the world is actively working against you. Your focus is worth real money to other people.
It is. So you need contingency plans. You have to visualize that moment of weakness when you're tired right before bed and have a specific physical plan for what you'll do instead of grabbing your phone.
So it's not just about avoiding the bad stuff.
No, you also have to actively cultivate the good stuff. The here and now neurotransmitters. Endorphin, oxytocin, and serotonin. EO and S.
Dopamine is about the future, the more.
Right. These chemicals are about the present. They bring calm, connection, well-being.
So how do we activate them?
Well, endorphins and serotonin you get from exercise, sunlight, mindfulness. Oxytocin, the love hormone, that comes from genuine social interaction.
Not scrolling through comments.
Not shallow exchanges, no. Deep connection with people you care about. And crucially, you have to learn to cultivate boredom.
That sounds difficult.
It is at first, but being okay with doing nothing, with just sitting and observing or taking a walk with no destination, that's how you train your brain to handle low-stimulation environments. That's how you fix the wavelength mismatch.
That really reframes it. It's not deprivation, it's active rebalancing.
And to make that shift permanent, the final step is a commitment, a 30-day challenge. That's about the minimum time it takes for a new routine to really solidify and become automatic. #outro.
So, this deep dive really clarifies that the battle for our attention is fierce. But it is winnable.
It is.
You have a choice. You can control your focus through intentional design, or you can let someone else take it away from you. And the key insight here is that excitement and fulfillment, they are not the same thing.
Not at all.
Achieving your most important long-term goals takes consistency and patience, not that immediate fleeting hit of stimulation.
And if you consider the immense cost of living in that short-term overstimulated state, you have to make protecting your morning routine your absolute #1 priority.
It sets the tone for the entire day.
It determines everything. So we'll leave you with this question. What is the one piece of friction, just one thing that you can add to your environment tomorrow? Maybe it's moving your phone charger out of the bedroom. Maybe it's installing a website blocker. What one thing could you do to guarantee you start the day with a closed system and protect your focus?
Because the answer to that question really will determine your trajectory for the day, and ultimately your success.